Okay, so go to your word list so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, circle Willis. Okay, so you start off at the top here, and you have this. There's 3 cerebral arteries. Okay, so you guys might want to grab the other clear head too. It helps. So this is kind of how I look at it. There's like this capital A right there with this communicating branch. There's a middle one going out, and then there's the one going out below that. Okay, so these 3 are part of the cerebral arteries. So you have anterior going up, middle going out, and posterior going towards the back. So you have anterior cerebral, middle cerebral, and posterior cerebral. Okay, and that kind of makes a capital A, so that's kind of helpful to remember anterior. So either one of these coming straight up is going to be anterior cerebral. It wings out straight, it's middle. And then the one going out after that, kind of parallel, is posterior cerebral. Does that make sense? Okay, so the branch that's communicating the anterior cerebral is this little guy right there. Kind of makes the capital A. That is the anterior communicating artery. So it's just the branch that communicates the 2. So that's an easy way to remember it. Then you have another blood vessel connecting the middle cerebral to the posterior cerebral. So it's another communicating. It's in the back. So it's called posterior communicating. So that's going to be this guy right here, connecting those 2. So, and that is right here, just on either side. Okay, so first going straight up, you have what? Anterior cerebral. Yep, the communicating branch is called anterior communicating. And then you have ones going straight out, called the middle cerebral. Cerebral stays the same. And the ones going out parallel after that are posterior cerebral. Yep. The branch that communicates middle to posterior is called posterior communicating. Does that make sense, how the words are sort of similar? Okay. Then you have these 2 branches that are going to go deep and internal. So that is the internal carotid artery. So they're kind of going down. So right off the middle, if you can kind of see it's going down, it's going to go through the carotid canal and come out here. And then you get the common carotid down lower. So the only way you can really see it is if you look from the side. It's going deep down this way.
And that's called what?
Internal carotid artery.
Okay.
Would it be kind of hard to pen that?
It'd be very hard to pin it, yeah. But just so you know.
And it goes down from the middle circle.
Yeah. You can kind of see it like right on the side there. Oh, it's going through that canal, the carotid canal. Okay, so that was all the cerebral. And then we have, how's it going? Okay. Then you have a boat with a bunch of oars coming off of it. Okay. That's how I look at it. You have the V and the Y. Okay. So this boat coming down the middle, it's really thick. It's called the basilar artery, B for boat. Okay, so basilar is coming straight down there. You can see it right there too. And all those little tiny lines coming off of it are called the pontine arteries. Pontine, tiny. So that's all those little lines branching off. Okay, so the front of the boat, or the top half of it, you will find the superior cerebellar. So now the word is going to switch from cerebral to cerebellar because now we're in the cerebellum region. Does that make sense? So if we did anterior, middle, posterior, is that one. Move those out of the way. The very next pipe, so to speak, coming off is the superior cerebellar. So I have it marked right there. First branch going off. The rest of them are going to be the pontine arteries. Okay? at the very bottom of the boat, it's called anterior inferior cerebellar artery. And it's anterior just because it's a little more forward than the other one. So you have superior cerebellar, anterior inferior. So you go to the very bottom and you just look for which one branches out straight out. Does that make sense? Okay. The rest are pretty easy. After that, you have kind of an upside down V going this way, and that artery goes down through the vertebrae in the transverse foramen. That is called the vertebral artery. So upside down V for vertebral. And then you have what looks like a Y, an artery there. Do you see that? And it's supposed to go in that little hole. It doesn't. It's going down the spine. It's called the spinal, what is it? Anterior spinal artery. So whatever one goes through that is spinal. Okay, so vertebral, the Y is the spinal.
Where's the posterior inferior?
Yep. And then the last one is kind of difficult to see on this model. So we did superior cerebellar and then inferior cerebellar. And then posterior cerebellar is way down here, and the artist just kind of drew it on. It's not really good. But on this model, it's a little bit better. It's branching off the vertebral, going posterior to the cerebellum. So it'll be 79 or 19 right there. Okay, so it's really just the words that can trip you up there.
Where's the basilar again?
Basilar's the boat. It's the vertical one going down. Okay. So up top we have a capital A. Is it cerebral or cerebellar?
Cerebral.
Cerebral. Is the cerebrum. Then you have the communicating branch called
Anterior
communicating. Yep. Then you have the middles. So middle cerebral. Then you have the communicating branch to the back. So that's posterior communicating. Then you have the back branches going out.
Are these the back ones?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
Posterior
Cerebral.
cerebral. Then you have the deep one going down into the carotid canal, internal carotid. Okay, then you have the boat. What's the boat called?
Basilar artery.
And the little things coming off?
Pontine artery.
Pontine arteries, yeah. So what is the artery at the very top going kind of out either way? Superior cerebellar. Yeah. So now the name changes. And then at the bottom it's anterior inferior cerebellar. Then you have the upside down V,
Vertebral artery.
vertebral, and then they have the Y,
Anterior spinal.
anterior spinal, and off the V are going to be those other two.
Posterior.
What? Posterior.
Inferior cerebellum.
Yeah. Posterior cerebellar. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Copy that down.